Hi guys, so I thought that I would do a little bonus video for you this week, which will only apply to some people, and don't watch this if you have not watched Once Upon a Time, because this is filled to the brim of spoilers. This week we saw the season 4 mid-season finale, so it was the last episode before it goes on its winter hiatus, which I hate. I hate this. I'm not gonna hold back from this. I hate this breaking up of shows and having like a mid-season finale. Even though it gives you quite a good dramatic episode, it just means that you've got this big chunk of time to wait. So we've just finished 4A, and before I talk about my feelings about the finale, I'm just going to talk about my feelings about the season up until this point. When it was announced that they were bringing Anna and Elsa from Frozen into Once Upon a Time, I was dubious. I love Frozen, I really do. I'm on the Frozen bandwagon. I think it's an amazing film, such a good story. We all know Kristen Bell's one of my favourite human beings, so I really love the film, and I was slightly worried about how they were going to fit into the world, but I thought it worked so well. I really loved Anna and Elsa. I thought they were a great addition to the sort of, I was going to say storybook community, well really only Elsa was. I loved the friendship between Emma and Elsa. I felt like it was so nice that she had someone who she really did properly bond with as like an actual friend. There's been so many ups and downs in terms of, she had Mary Margaret as a friend, but then she found out that she was her mother, and she and Regina have had a very tumultuous kind of relationship up until this point, and so it was just nice to see her having another female character, someone who she could really relate to on the level of these powers that she has that she doesn't really understand yet and she doesn't really fully know how to control yet. Elsa's in the same kind of boat, and so it was really nice to see the kind of relationship blossom between them. I particularly liked episode 3. Was it episode 3 or episode 2? It was episode 2 when Elsa accidentally trapped Emma in the ice cave and she almost died, and it was very dramatic. I loved that episode just in general. I really enjoyed the kind of Killing and Charming interaction. I thought that that was really nice. I thought that was a really nice episode for the Captain Swan relationship, because you got to see how frantic he was at the thought that he might potentially lose her, and then see her kind of, not soften, but you know, allow him to kind of take care of her after all of that happened, which for Emma, someone who's so super independent and doesn't really want to ever rely on anyone, I think that that was a really nice moment. But yeah, I particularly liked the time that Emma and Elsa were in the cave and they started to kind of talk about the things that they'd been through and Elsa's attempts to stop Emma freezing to death. And you saw that kind of bond starting to kind of flicker there, and so I thought that that was great. I loved that. Really liked Anna as a character. I know that she irritated some people and that some people weren't 100% on board with the writing in terms of the actual script for Anna. It was maybe sometimes a little bit veering on over the top in terms of the kind of craziness, but I just thought that she was a breath of fresh air. She was really fun and really sweet, and the sort of relationship between Anna and Elsa was really nice. I thought the actors really did a great job with that. Things that I disliked about this season up until this point, I feel like Rumpel had kind of not gone good, but things had changed so much for him come the end of season 3, and when we saw him and Belle getting married, and you knew when he gave her the fake dagger that it wasn't really over and that he wasn't really becoming a good guy. But I really did think that he'd managed to change to a certain extent. And I don't know, I just feel like in this season he just, like, there was kind of no explanation. He just suddenly became like super power hungry and angry and evil again. And I don't know, I feel like it kind of undid a little bit of the good that had been done in the past season. I don't know, maybe other people disagree with that. You can let me know in the comments below how you felt about that. I think my main sort of reason for the hatred of this is because of my uncontrollable love for Captain Hook. I hated the sort of control that he had over him, and I hated how malicious he was in the way that he was forcing Killing to do these things that he didn't want to do. And yeah, I was not on board with that. I know that they obviously have a very complicated past, and if there's anyone that he was going to use to do his dirty work, he was going to pick Killing, but I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. Other things that I wasn't 100% sort of comfortable with in this season, I felt like Henry kind of got forgotten about. For the most part, he wasn't really there very much, and I understand that the actor Jared Gilmore, whatever his surname is, I've now forgotten, but I know he's getting a little bit older, so maybe he's got, I don't know, more schoolwork to focus on or something, I'm not sure, but he kind of felt like he took a bit of a backseat in this season, and since season 1 and 2 or so, and even season 3 when he went to Neverland, were very sort of, Henry was kind of at the centre of everything that was happening, and he sort of, I don't know, felt like he got a little bit forgotten about in this season up until this point. I feel like what it looks like from the final episode there, he's going to be a lot more of a focus of season 4B, but I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. Things that I did like, I liked the kind of fiction between Emma and Regina again. I liked that, what I really particularly liked was the fact that that fiction was there and it existed, but Regina didn't revert to her kind of completely old evil ways. She'd been through something horrible, she felt like she'd lost the man that she loved, and I actually really enjoyed the Robin-Regina storyline throughout this part of the season. Again, I'm on board. I'm an outlaw queen shipper too. I ship all of these people. I love... This show does a very good job, I feel, with romantic storylines. I will say that. They have done from the beginning with Snow and Charming, and, you know, from the get-go they've done a very good job, I think, at those kind of like romantic interactions. But I really love Robin and Regina, and I think that they've done a very good job with that storyline. I know that the people who are like hardcore outlaw queen shippers are not comfortable with the way that that storyline ended there, but I really don't think that that is the end for Robin and Regina. They seem so meant to be, and the chemistry between the actors is amazing, and I just don't believe for a minute that that is actually the end of their relationship. I thought for a minute my camera hadn't been recording there. I was like, no, I've been talking to myself for so long, but I need to talk to someone about this. In terms of Emma and Kelly, I have so many feels, all of the feels for this season, guys. It's been very, very cute, and I've enjoyed seeing the kind of trust that she has in him becoming more apparent and her kind of opening up to him. I really liked the episode, I want to say it was 5, when she was looking through the kind of box of childhood things and she let him look and she sat and they watched the videotape together and stuff, and I don't know, it just felt like she's kind of those sort of, that guard that she's always got up seems to be kind of like breaking down a little bit. Emma is my favourite character. She's one of my favourite characters in anything. I love her so much, and I love Jennifer Morrison just to pieces. I think that given everything that she's been through, you can kind of understand why she is so guarded and so, she's got these kind of walls up and she doesn't want to let anyone in. Hello, friendship with Elsa. But yeah, I just felt like the kind of relationship between them this season is just, it's going in a nice direction, and this is why I have issues with the finale. So let's talk about the finale. Some of it was very positive. I felt like the scenes between Rumple and Belle were absolutely excellent. They were heartbreaking. I really felt for Belle. I felt like after everything that she's been through and they finally got married and settled and she feels like everything's out in the open and that they're happy together, everything just came crashing down for her. So I really thought that Emily Deraven and Robert Carlyle were great in that. I loved that. I say I loved it. It made me very sad. The scene where she's sending him across the town line was heartbreaking, but I thought that that was really well done. The problem that I had with this episode was I felt like because it was the mid-season finale, they tried to fit so much into this one episode, and they tried to tie up, or not tie up, but sort of resolve a lot of different things within the space of 40 minutes. And they just didn't have enough space and time to do that. This episode was obviously very much a Rumpelstiltskin, Mr. Gold centric episode. The flashbacks were of him and Belle and meeting these Queens of Darkness, as they're going to be referred to, Cruella and Ursula and Maleficent, which I enjoyed that. I'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, this was a very Rumple/Belle centric episode, which was nice because they hadn't actually got a whole lot of screen time up until this point. But because they were focused on that, it meant that there were other storylines that didn't really properly get addressed in the way that I felt that they should have. My main one obviously being that we've just spent the past like 8 episodes with this really dark, complicated storyline between Kelly and Mr. Gold, where, you know, Hooksart has been taken by Mr. Gold, he's been controlling him. I find it weird when I'm calling them different names. I feel like I should just stick to one or the other. I'm going to just call them Rumple and Kellyan, okay? So Rumple's got Kellyan's heart, and he's had it for, you know, the past several episodes, or well, the past couple of episodes, but he's been controlling him since episode 4 when he got his hand back. And I don't know, it just all got resolved far too quickly. My main concerns with this were Kellyan has told Emma a few episodes before that he's a survivor, and yes, that gets brought in, but he says he's a survivor, that she never has to worry about losing him, that, you know, he'll always be there and whatever. And she's just witnessed him about to die. Had it not been for Belle, they would not be standing in the corridor at Granny's having a nice reunion kiss. She would be sitting crying because he would be dead. That did not get addressed at all. I feel like Emma would bring that up and be like, hey buddy, what the hell just happened there? Your heart was taken by Rumpelstiltskin. Didn't think to tell me that. And they didn't physically have enough time, and season finales are always complicated in that way because you've got so many you've often got a lot of loose ends to kind of tie up, and you want everything to be either when it's a finale, everything kind of resolved as much, you know, to as much as it can be. And with a mid-season finale usually leaves some cliffhangers and things that, you know, people are excited about seeing next. With this, I just felt like there should have been a conversation. That's all that we needed. We needed a conversation between Emma and Killian where she is saying, right, what's been going on? I've said that you've been acting strange. And Adam and Eddie, Adam Horowitz and Eddie Kitsis, they were asked about this because I read an interview with them yesterday where they were a lot of people had said, you know, that scene was quite rushed and the resolution of that storyline was quite rushed. How do you feel about that? And they basically said, oh, well, you know, we had the scene earlier on where she said that she knew there was something up with him. And, you know, we would have loved to have 40 minutes of them just kissing, but, you know, we don't have time for that. That's not what we wanted. I love a Captain Swan kiss as much as the next person. But what we're after here was an actual proper conversation where they talked about things. And we didn't get that. And we needed a moment where she was probably actually quite furious with him and saying, I can't believe that you put yourself in this stupid situation. Why on earth did you make a deal with Mr. Gold / Rumpelstiltskin? We didn't get that. We just got her, and she did not seem upset enough for a start. Like, he just almost died, and she's standing there, and yeah, I enjoyed the scene. I enjoyed the scene. She put his heart back. I really liked that. I thought it was a very sweet moment. But it was 25 seconds. I counted. It's a 25-second scene. This is a storyline that has been building over the past 8 episodes. How can you resolve a storyline that has gone on for that long in the space of 25 seconds? You can't. My hopes are that in season 4B we are going to have some sort of conversation about this and that they are going to talk about it. Another thing that Adam and Eddie said was that this is a couple that is continuing, so obviously I'm on board with that. And so they would rather see them kind of like grow together throughout the rest of the season, which sounds lovely. Still doesn't excuse the fact that there was not an actual proper discussion about the fact that he had made a deal with the Dark One. I have a lot of feelings about this, I really do. I think when it's a show that you care about as much and it's characters that you care about as much, it becomes difficult to control your emotions. Also, in the season finale, moving away from my Captain Swan rage, and do you know what the funny thing was? I'm not moving away from it, apparently. I was going to work on Monday morning. I'm not going to lie, I was going to work on Monday morning. I had not seen the episode because obviously it airs during the night. So I may or may not have looked at the hashtag on Twitter. I know it was a foolish thing to do and I'm only ruining it. This is why, if you're watching this video and you've never watched Once Upon a Time before, you're only ruining it for yourself because that is what I did. But anyway, I looked at the hashtag, which was a very stupid thing to do, but I saw kind of what had happened in terms of them, and I saw so many people being like, I'm so disappointed with this episode, I can't believe, you know, that wasn't resolved properly. And I was like, look, it looks from the screenshots to me as if things are resolved pretty nicely. And then I watched it and I was like, oh, now I understand. Now I understand where the rage and disappointment is coming from. And I wasn't disappointed with the episode as a whole, because that's what I was going to come to next. I love the introduction of the Queens of Darkness, this evil trio. I think they're amazing. I'm so just intrigued by Cruella. I mean, Cruella, how is Cruella fitting into this? She's not got any magical powers. I was talking to my friend about this yesterday. How Cruella's actually going to function in this, I'm not entirely sure, but I feel like the actress so far has done a really good job with her. I really enjoyed her presence in that episode. I feel like the three of them together, working with Rumpel, I feel like the end of the episode was actually fantastic. I really like the idea of the four of them kind of working together in the next half of the season. I think that it's going to create a lot of tension for a lot of people, and I'm intrigued to see where this is going to go. Other things that I particularly enjoyed, I really liked the moment between Emma and Regina towards the end of the episode where they sat down and, you know, had some shots at Granny's, as you do, and sort of had a real genuine moment of kind of, I think, connection that we haven't really seen throughout the rest of this season so far. There's been that distance and that awkwardness between them because of what happened with Robin and Marion, and it was just nice to see them kind of talk very briefly, but sort of talk and sit together and have that kind of bond that they'd started to maybe kind of form through season 3. So I really enjoyed that. I thought that was nice, and I loved that Henry then kind of ran in and they brought Emma in on Operation Mongoose, and that was all nice. I like that they found all these books. Who is the author? Who knows? We're going to find out hopefully soon enough. But I like that that was brought in to kind of like bookend the series, or this sort of half of the season, with this kind of who is the author thing, because that's how it all started off with Regina feeling like she was never going to get her happy ending, and her and Henry coming up with Operation Mongoose, and now we've kind of like bookended it with finding these books at the end of the mid-season finale, so I enjoyed that. I really liked the Robin and Regina scenes. I felt really sad at the time that he was leaving. Again, I feel like because there was so much else going on in the episode, we maybe could have spent a little bit more time on that. We certainly got more time on that than we did on the Kelly and Hart storyline. Just don't get me started again. But I still feel like they could have maybe spent a little bit more time focused on that. Roland, is Roland the cutest child that there's ever been? I feel like he might be. I can't just understand how cute that child is. He's gorgeous. That was really heartbreaking, and I really like that. And I think what I always feel with these shows, as much as though I get very invested in the characters and you want people to be happy together, and you see so many tweets and stuff from people being like, oh, why can't like Emma and Kelly or Regina and Robin just, you know, sit in and watch a movie and, you know, have some pizza, and you're like, seriously, that would be incredibly dull. And also, if you resolve everything right at that point, you know, if you have them all in happy, stable relationships at this point, so what are you going to do for the rest of, like, hopefully the future seasons? Because you can't just have everything all tied up in a neat little package in the middle of the season. It doesn't, you know, it's, you need that kind of tension and crisis happening so that you can keep things interesting. So I'm glad that they kind of, I'm not glad that they sent Robin away, but I feel that that's opened up potential for a lot of interesting work with Regina in the next kind of half of the season. I feel that Snow and Charming got kind of forgotten about in this episode. Snow made a couple of appearances. Charming was in one scene, and I don't think he said anything. If I remember correctly, they walked into a room somewhere. I want to say it was in Regina's house. They walked into a room of some description. Oh no, it was when Anna and Kristoff and Elsa were going back to Arendelle. That's the other part of the storyline that I haven't discussed yet. At that point, when they walked in to go through the door, the portal, Charming was there then to say cheerio to Kristoff and Anna and Elsa. But that was it. He didn't appear in any other points of the story. And the only other point that Snow was there was when she sort of like ran into the building with Emma to save Kelly, which was nice, but again, I don't really know what the point of that was. But anyway, Anna, Elsa, Kristoff going back to Arendelle, I really liked that. I thought that I was really sad that Elsa was leaving, because I loved the friendship between Emma and Elsa, so I was sad that she was going. But I thought that was quite nicely done. I liked the way that they had the wedding when they got back, so you got to see their kind of like, I was going to say happy ending, but happy sort of present back in Arendelle. I thought that was really nice. I liked how that was done. Again, I feel like it was rushed a little bit though. I feel like it would have been nice to have a little bit more time with Anna and, or not so much Anna, but Elsa and Emma saying goodbye. You just had that kind of moment where it was like, you've done so much for me. Yeah, I know. Hug and goodbye. I don't know. I mean, I think I just want too much. I want double episodes every day so that they can fully explore all of these characters, because I just love them all so much. So I'm going to leave it there. I don't know, I've just ranted word vomit at the camera for the past, I don't know how long. But now I have to go Christmas shopping. What I really wanted to do was film a top 5 Christmas movie things. I've got them all sitting here, but so I'm going to do it later. But I wanted to film that. And it's so sad, I just want it to look festive, so I want it to be like in front of some Christmas lights, which I have down at my fireplace, but there's not enough room, like I can't get the angle of the camera to get both me and the Christmas lights in the shot, and with my Christmas tree at the moment, because there's still a little bit of daylight, or you know, a fair amount of daylight, if I sit in front of it then I'm not facing the light, and it just, hashtag YouTuber problems. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there, and I'm going to film that top 5 Christmas movies or favourite festive films later on tonight once it's dark, so I can just put the big light on. The lighting still won't be fantastic, but at least I can have the twinkly Christmas lights in the background. I feel like you need to have twinkly Christmas lights for a Christmas related video. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. That was a rant and a half, but I do hope that if you like Once Upon a Time you enjoyed that, and I will speak to you again soon. Bye! This is Memento, and I've always wanted to see this because I'm so intrigued by the chronology of it, because it's kind of in reverse. I think it's either in reverse or